Hello, my friends, and welcome back to today's edition of Mrs. Hebert's favorite flute songs. Yesterday, I promised you a composer who is still alive, and today we will be talking about Ian Clarke. Ian Clarke is a flutist and a composer who lives in England. That's right, I said lives in England because he is still alive. We have many composers that are still living, but Ian Clarke is one of my favorites because he writes almost 100% for the flute. He writes for solo flute, which is flute with no other instruments. He writes for flute and piano, and he writes for flute choir, which is a whole bunch of flutes. It's my version of heaven. Gotta love that. So Ian Clarke was born in 1964. He's 11 years older than me, so he's still relatively young, right? Because Miss Hebert's young at heart. And he has composed so many cool pieces of music that use extended techniques. Extended techniques are playing the flute in a way that is not traditionally how you play. So I might do things like blow into my flute and not make a complete sound when I play his music. I might sing while I'm playing when I play his music. It's pretty cool. I might do what's called multiphonics, which is when you hear two different sounds at the same time. Now you can do that by singing and playing, or you can do it with special fingerings. My recorder students that I teach at Lovejoy Elementary School, Lovejoy Leopards, happy Friday, Leopards. I've told them several times that I need you to tell your fingers what to play and look at your fingers and put them on your recorder and say what you're doing. I learned that technique from Ian Clarke when I got to meet him several years ago at a masterclass at Texas Women's University. And I got to play this piece that you're going to hear today, The Great Train Race, for him. So he could tell me all of the things I was doing wrong in it. It was so much fun. No, really, it was fun because he didn't have to tell me a lot of stuff that I was doing wrong. I had practiced. I'd worked on it. So The Great Train Race is subtitled The Flute, as you're not used to hearing it, because there's so many of these extended techniques in it. It really takes the flute and it treats it more like it's a rock and roll instrument, which is interesting because Ian Clarke was actually in a rock band when he was in college. It's kind of cool. I was in a marching band when I was in college. That's cool in a different way. So I'm going to play The Great Train Race for you now. If you're one of my students at Lovejoy Elementary, you heard this in kindergarten when we did all of our train songs. Engine, engine number 9, down at the station, all of that fun stuff. And then after a few weeks, I would play this for you. So it's the same piece, but it is one of my absolute favorites. So much fun to play. So great to do things with the flute that you don't normally hear. Here is Ian Clarke's The Great Train Race. that was the Great Train Race by Ian Clarke, a master of extended techniques on the flute. I am nowhere near a master of extended techniques, but it sure is fun to play. I hope that you could hear all of the trains racing against each other throughout there. I'm sure you heard the train whistles too. I hope that all of you have a wonderful weekend. Spend some time with your families. Spend some time outside. Get some fresh air. Get some good, yummy food inside of you, hopefully something home cooked with some fruits and veggies in it. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Skype with your grandparents or FaceTime with them so that they can see your faces and be very happy. And hopefully next week I will see you with a new series, Mrs. Hebert's favorite folk songs. Because I love me some folk music too. Bye, everyone.